Hello and welcome. So last week I think we mostly mucked around with some side quests. Yes, and this week we're going to collect the rewards from those side quests and then go to Landsmeet. I'm not sure how much more there's going to be, at least in the main plot line. And after this, because I think after the Landsmeet you're pretty much into a bunch of cutscene heavy stuff before you get into the final battle. But anyway, we're off.
Yes.
Circle of Magi in good standing, and then...
Yes.
The assassin, who was hired by the regent to kill me. I guess these also work as, like, good witnesses to what was going on, given as she knows what he did at the circle, and he knows it. Well, yeah. Hired someone to kill me.
The Mages Collective thanks you. Make us smile upon you.
Don't stare. I can have my father from himself.
It be done.
Your efforts are greatly appreciated.
Is but one word, one death. There is but one God, and He is our Maker.
Ah, Warden, we finally meet. I know why you're here. Talran sent you. My own son wants me dead. Well, I suppose I should be proud that I bred in him such ambition. He is an ambitious child, hungry for the guild to be the way it was in his grandfather's day, a violent band bolstered by secret funding from the nobility. He disagrees with my belief that we can make our way without such backroom dealing. We can, instead, work with honor and integrity. I appreciate you saying that, Warden. It's good to know that my beliefs are shared by someone of your station. I have wrestled with my own emotions about my son for some time, in fear that I may have to turn a blade on him myself. But I cannot bring myself to do it. Kill my own son. Even if it's what's best for my men.
I could take care of him for you.
I ache even discussing this, but Tauran has killed his opponents and bullied my men. It has to stop. Challenge him to a duel and defeat him. Return to one of our posts, and I will reward you.
Consider it done.
As much as I appreciate your help, I cannot see you after the deed is done. Despite everything, you will still be the one who killed my son. Last I heard, he was headed toward Lothering. You should find him there. Come, men! Evil thoughts make me thirsty for ale.
No, I guess I'm taking a quick trip out of the city then.
Magic exists to serve man and never
I can't actually go to Lothering. To go to Lothering because it's been destroyed. Don't really going to the Princeling outskirts, so I will head to Redcliffe.
My friend! Look, everyone! It's our Grey Warden associate! Do you have business with me?
I am here to kill you.
I suppose my father got to you. Did he tell you about honour and integrity, about my evil plans to conquer the guild? His beliefs are outdated and destructive. Since I put my plans in place, this guild has blossomed. We are better funded and better equipped than ever. You were part of that. Stopping his supply chains, bribing nobles in Denerim. Take pride, my friend. We are remaking the Irregulars into a political force.
Okay, so notice that mercenary companies were not considered, would not have been considered guilds in the medieval period. Guilds were groups, basically craftsmen monopolies. They would not have considered using blades to be making blades. Yes, that would be a guild. Using blades, not so much. You have to die.
You're entitled to your opinion, but I think my men might disagree with you. Men, to me!
Oh, Zevran fell.
Of course.
My magic will make
Let's make this quick! As you say. It will be done. Your wish?
What?
Your efforts are greatly appreciated.
Jaunt to camp.
You will have the best equipped army Fereldan has ever seen.
Yes.
Yes.
Now actually make it to Landsmeet.
Warden, I am not surprised it has come to this. And Alistair, if you were even remotely worthy of being called Marik's son, you would already be in the Landsmeet, now wouldn't you? You have torn this nation apart to oppose my lord, and never once tried to understand why he is a hero to Fereldan. But do not think you will get past me to desecrate the Landsmeet itself. The nobles of Fereldan will confirm my lord as regent, and we can finally put this to rest once you are gone.
Do you really not see what Loghain has become?
I have had so many doubts of late. Loghain is a great man, but his hatred of Orlais has driven him to madness. He has done terrible things. I know it. But I owe him everything. I cannot betray him. Do not ask me to.
Put down your weapon. And let us pass.
I will not stop you, Warden. Please, show mercy. Without Loghain, there would be no Fereldan to defend.
I will see what I can do.
My lords and ladies of the Landsmeet, Tyrn Loghain would have us give up our freedoms, our traditions, out of fear. He placed us on this path, yet we should place our destiny in his hands? Must we sacrifice everything good about our nation to save it?
A fine performance, Aemon. But no one here is taken in by it. You would attempt to put a puppet on the throne, and every soul here knows it. The better question is who will pull the strings.
Ah! Here we have the puppeteer. Tell us, Warden, how will the Orlesians take our nation from us? Will they deign to send their troops, or simply issue their commands through this would-be prince? Where is the famous steadfastness of the dwarves? How much did it cost the Empress to buy your loyalty?
The Blight is the threat here, not Orlais.
There are enough refugees in Mybanor now to make that abundantly clear.
The South is fallen, Loghain. Will you let Darkspawn take the whole country for fear of Orlais?
The Blight is indeed real, Wolf. But do we need Grey Wardens to fight it? They claim that they alone can end the Blight, yet they failed spectacularly against the Darkspawn at Ostagar. And they asked to bring with them 4 legions of Chevaliers. And once we open our borders to the Chevaliers, and we really expect them to simply return from whence they came?
You sold Fereldan citizens into slavery to fund your war.
What's this? There is no slavery in Fereldan! Explain yourself!
There is no saving the alienage. Damage from the riots has yet to be repaired. There are bodies still rotting in their homes. It is not a place I would send my worst enemy. There is no chance of holding it if the Blight comes here. Despite what you may think, Warden, I have done my duty. Whatever my regrets may be for the elves, I have done what was needed for the good of Fereldan.
Was sending an apostate to poison Eamon your duty as well?
I assure you, Warden, if I were going to send someone, it would be my own soldiers. I would not trust to the discretion of an apostate.
Indeed, my brother tells a very different tale. He says you snatched a blood mage from the Chantry's justice. Coincidence?
Do not think the Chantry will overlook this, Terran Logain. Interference in a Templar's sacred duties is an offense against the Maker.
Whatever I have done, I will answer for later. At the moment, however, I wish to know what this Warden has done with my daughter.
What have I done? I've protected her from you.
You took my daughter, our queen, by force, killing her guards in the process. What arts have you employed to keep her? Does she even still live?
I believe I can speak for myself. Lords and ladies of Fereldan, hear me. My father is no longer the man you know. This man is not the hero of Riverdane. This man turned his troops aside and refused to protect your king as he fought bravely against the Darkspawn. This man seized Kaelin's throne before his body was cold and locked me away so I could not reveal his treachery. I would have already been killed, if not for this Grey Warden.
The Queen speaks the truth.
So, the Warden's influence has poisoned even your mind, Enora. I wanted to protect you from this. My lords and ladies! Our land has been threatened before! It's been invaded and lost and won times beyond counting. We Fereldans have proven that we will never truly be conquered so long as we are united. We must not let ourselves be divided now. Stand with me, and we shall defeat even the Blight itself!
The Warden. I'm with the Warden. Southreach stands with the Grey Wardens.
The Warden helped me personally in a family matter.
Waking Sea stands with the Grey Warden.
Dragon's Peak supports the Warden! The Western Hills throw their lot in with the Wardens. Make her help us.
I stand by Logain. We've no hope of victory otherwise.
I stand with the Warden. The Blight is coming. We need the Grey Wardens.
Traitors! Which of you stood against the Orlesian Emperor when his troops flattened your fields and raped your wives? You fought with us once, Eamon. You cared about this land once. Before you got too old and fat and content to even see what you risk. None of you deserve a say in what happens here. None of you have spilled blood for this land the way I have. How dare you judge me? Then, let us end this. I suppose we both knew it would come to this. When we first met at Ostagar, I would never have thought so, but Ostagar seems like it happened in another lifetime to someone else. A man is made by the quality of his enemies. Marek told me that once. I wonder if it's more a compliment to you or me. Enough! Let the Landsmeet declare the terms of the duel.
It shall be fought according to tradition. A test of arms, in single combat until one party yields. And we, who are assembled, will abide by the outcome.
Will you face me yourself, or have you a champion?
So the stuff I know about... Well, I guess this is really a judicial duel. I'll fight this duel myself.
It is you or me the men will follow. So, let us fight for it. Prepare yourself.
So I'm going to take a minute to talk about judicial duels. As much as they seem like a kind of trope, standard thing for the Middle Ages, they weren't all that common. This sort of a Germanic thing, the idea of the trial by ordeal. The broader scope includes various things like one of the only one I can think of is the trial by cake, whereas if you choke on a piece of cake, you're considered to be guilty. I think there's also one where you were supposed to hold on to a red-hot poker for taking a certain number of steps, and then how well it healed in the course of like the next few days was considered to be an assertion of your guilt. But judicial duels to the death were generally only done when someone was accusing someone else of a capital crime, because someone was going to die either way, and there wasn't any other way to prove it, and they frequently knew, they understood that they got a sense that the actual reasons for your duels going the way they did could have some influence from like skill and fitness level, and so if it was really uneven, they might give one combatant a handicap, or they could have champions. And another thing they might do is there's the idea that some of the like more unusual weapons they found from the Middle Ages might have been judicial weapons. And in other words, they basically have a blacksmith or a weaponsmith invent a weapon so that neither combatant has an advantage because no one knows how to use it. Anyway, so on to fighting Loghain, who curiously is not a red-named opponent.
Well done.
This is a waste of time! By my answer! By the storm shall prevail. Die! Be blast you! Wonderful!
For
the honor of Fereldan! I underestimated you, Warden. I thought you were like Kalen, a child wanting to play at war. I was wrong. There's a strength in you that I have not seen anywhere since Marek died. I yield.
I didn't just hear you say that. You're going to let him live? After everything he's done? Kill him already!
Wait, there is another option. Batean is a warrior and general of renown. Let him be of use. Let him go through the joining.
Would that even work? He's not exactly loyal to us. Well, I mean, that hasn't been an issue, you know, anywhere else, but, you know,
What does loyalty matter? We are what we are. The joining binds us to the Darkspawn. You know this. If you were to forswear your oath and flee today, you'd find yourself in the Deep Roads, or the Blight Lands given time. You'd seek them out, or they'd seek you.
The joining itself is often fatal, is it not? If he survives, you gain a general. If not, you have your revenge. Doesn't that satisfy you?
Absolutely not! Riordan, this man abandoned our brothers and then blamed us for the deed. He hunted us down like animals. He tortured you! How can we simply forget that?
No, Loghain has to die
Joining the Wardens is an honor, not a punishment. Name him a Warden and you cheapen us all. I will not stand next to him as a brother. I won't!
So that's it? You or him?
He's being childish. How many generals do you think Fereldan has? We can't afford to lose any of them to Alistair's tantrums if we want to survive the Blight.
Oh, but we can afford to lose a king? And the entire army that was abandoned at Ostagar? Whose tantrums cost us all that, I wonder? I didn't want to be king. I still don't. But if that's what it takes to see Loghain get justice, then I'll do it. I'll take the crown.
Listen to this. Can you see how disastrous a king he'd be? Putting his own selfish desires above the needs of his country? You can't seriously support him.
I thought you two were going to marry.
And I thought the whole idea was to bring Loghain to justice. Funny how plans change, isn't it?
You'd throw away a very fortunate alliance for petty revenge? Perhaps Fereldan is better off without you, Alistair. You can't do this. My father may have been wrong, but he is still a hero to the people.
Honora. Hush. It's over.
Stop treating me like a child. This is serious.
Daughters never grow up, Honora. They remain 6 years old with pigtails and skinned knees forever.
Father.
Just make it quick, Warden. I can face the Maker knowing that Fereldan is in your hands.
So it is decided. Alistair will take his father's throne.
I have a recurring nightmare that sounds just like this. All right. Yes. I guess it's decided then.
Honora, the Landsmeet has decided against you. You must now swear fealty to our king, and relinquish all claim to the throne for yourself and your heirs.
If you think I will swear that oath, Eamon, you know nothing of me. Reason clearly had nothing to do with your choice, Warden.
We cannot leave Fereldan in a state of civil war. We must have unity. If she will not swear fealty to you, Alistair, and renounce her claim to the throne, she is a threat to us all.
What do you want me to do exactly? Kill her? I can't do that. I guess... put her in the tower for now. Lock her up. Maybe we can find somewhere to send her. Later.
Thank you, Alistair. You show me mercy that I would not have shown you.
Very well then. Guards, take her away. Your Highness, would you address the Landsmeet?
Oh, that will be me, right? I never knew him, but from all I've heard of my father, what defined him was his commitment to protecting this land.
Get to the Blight already.
I was getting there. Anyway, the Blight, yes. I may be Merrick's son, but I am also a Grey Warden. I took an oath. I swore I would stand and fight the Darkspawn, no matter the cost to myself. I can't break that oath just to wear the crown. I have to go with my fellow Warden to face the Blight. When the Blight is over, I'll come back and take up my duties, whatever they are, as king. Until then, I think Eamon will have to be my regent.
Then I can do Merrick's memory no less honor than you do. I accept. And may the Maker bless your efforts against the Darkspawn.
My fellow Grey Warden will, I hope, take Loghain's place as the leader of my armies. Shall we finish this thing together?
I could do no less, my king.
Everyone, get ready to march! It's going to take all of Fereldan's strength to survive this blight. But we will face it, and we'll defeat it! We'd better get going. Fereldan is depending on us. You made me king. After all this is over with, they're actually going to put me on the throne. I'm going to be the king.
And here I thought you'd be speechless.
Speechless? I'm furious. How could you do this to me? I've done nothing but regret my blood since the day I was born. I don't want this. I never wanted this. I hate the very idea of it. I thought we were friends. You knew how I felt about this, yet you went ahead and did it anyway. Why?
Well, we discussed this. You were supposed to marry Honora. Okay. Your country needs you, Alistair.
And what I want doesn't factor in anywhere, does it? Funny how it always works out like that. I've just never thought of myself as a leader. I'm going to make a terrible king, you have to know that. How can I make decisions that are going to affect the lives of everyone in the kingdom? I guess I don't really have a choice in this now, do I? I'll do my best, of course, and I expect that you'll be there to help me, right?
There, of course I will.
Good. Then it's settled. Arleman has left for Redcliffe. He says the army has gathered there and is almost ready to march. As soon as we're ready, we should head to Redcliffe ourselves. The blight awaits, right?
I guess there's a small note to make. I did have Alistair wearing his brother's armor for that. Hogren, do you have anything to say?
I got a moment, sure.
I'd like to know more about you.
What about? Alright. Alright then.
You don't have much to say. Wynne, do you have anything to say?
This is a nice estate, isn't it? What's on your mind?
Do you have any regrets at all?
I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, of which there are many. I would go quite mad if I did that. But I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life, made even more grave because it had dire consequences for someone else.
What did you do?
Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, Anarin. He was my first apprentice. Anarin was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority.
I can see how this could be trouble.
What Anarin needed was time. Time to get used to his new home, time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him, too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential, just to be difficult.
Was he talented?
Oh, very much so. Sometimes I would catch him practicing on his own, but if I asked him to show me what he could do, he would freeze up or fumble terribly. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed, and I learned that too late to help him.
What happened to Anirin?
Anirin ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. I drove him away because of something utterly unimportant. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down.
Why didn't they just bring him back to the tower?
They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic, deserving of death. He was a child, misunderstood and lost. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor, and they wouldn't even tell me what became of him.
It's not your fault, Wynne.
I should have known better. I had the best mentors. They were kind, compassionate. Why didn't I learn from them? I failed Anirin. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves.
Maybe he did find the Dalish.
The Templars are well trained and thorough. That he still lives, it would be a vain hope. The apprentices that came after Anirin benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student.
See, there is a bright side.
And there it is. My story, my one greatest regret.
This is a nice change from having to sleep in the woods, isn't it? Well, aren't you sweet and attentive?
What do you know about this place?
Denerim is Fereldan's most important city, yes? This is the seat of power, the jewel in the crown of the king. She is Fereldan's heart. Her walls are strong, but within them lies so much beauty, just like the country and the people.
Notice how form-fitting this armor is. Really, I mean, sure there was like some Roman, like, I guess like actually like Roman chest armor that was molded similar ways. Maybe also Greek, but let's just move on.
You know, I could get to like this. The last time I came to Denerim, I stayed at an inn so filthy the bedbugs had fleas. Your wish?
Could I answer some questions?
Whatever you'd like to ask.
Care to tell me about that last mission now?
Yes, I suppose it is time. You have been a good friend to me after all. There is no reason to be silent. There is a reason I accepted this mission in Fereldan, far away from home, and it had nothing to do with any thought that I might leave the Crows. Meeting you, after all, was quite an accident. My last mission before this one did not end well.
What happened?
You must realize that until that day I was cocky and arrogant. I was the best crow in Antiva, I believed, and I bragged of my conquests often, both as an assassin and lover.
You were more cocky and arrogant?
Indeed. I was often told I was insufferable, right before I ended up in bed with someone. Such is how it was. One of the crow masters grew tired of my boasting. My bid for an incredibly difficult mark was accepted, much to my surprise. A wealthy merchant with many guards and completely silent. Taliesin agreed to be part of my team, as well as an elven lass named Rina. She was a marvel. Tough, smooth, wicked, eyes that gleamed like justice. Everything I thought I desired.
I sense a tragic ending.
Rina was special. I had closed off my heart, I thought, but she touched something within me. It frightened me. When Taliesin revealed to me that Rina had accepted a bribe from the merchant, told him of our plan, I readily agreed that she needed to pay the price and allowed Taliesin to kill her. Rina begged me not to. On her knees, with tears in her eyes, she told me that she loved me and had not betrayed us. I laughed in her face and said that even if it were true, I didn't care.
But that wasn't true.
I convinced myself it was. Taliesin cut her throat, and I watched her bleed as she stared up at me. I spat on her for betraying the crows. When Taliesin and I finally assassinated the merchant, we found the true source of his information. Rina had not betrayed us, after all.
I'm so sorry.
I wanted to tell the crows what we had done, our mistake. Taliesin convinced me not to. He said it would be a foolish waste. So we reported that Rina had died in the attempt. We needn't have bothered. The crows knew what we had done. The master who disliked me told me so to my face. He said the crows knew, and they didn't care. And one day, my turn would come.
Why would he do that?
To rub it in my face, perhaps. That I was nothing. That she was nothing. You once asked why I wanted to leave the crows. In truth, what I wanted was to die. What better way than to throw myself at one of the fabled Grey Wardens? And then, this happened. And here I am.
Do you still want to die?
No. What I want is to begin again. Whatever it is I sought by leaving Antiva, I think I have found it. I owe you a great deal. Let us return to your mission, shall we? Suddenly, I do not feel like standing about.
Everything in here appears to be breakable. It seems most impractical.
I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do. That part I know, as Wilhelm often bragged about it to whomever was willing to listen to him. He claimed to have found me in the deep roads. I was in the ruins of a Tig, he said, deactivated, with my control rod not far away.
What was Wilhelm doing in the deep roads?
It was a hobby of his, scavenging. One of the reasons he traveled so much is that he was looking for entrances into the deep roads, old places the dwarves had long forgotten. And then he would sneak down and search for magical treasure, before anyone was the wiser.
So if he hadn't found you?
I wouldn't have had to put up with the twit, and I would be none the wiser. I don't think I was aware while I was there. Not like in the village. Or perhaps I was. Perhaps that was the dark place, and I simply couldn't see anything. How long could even I sit in the darkness and stare out at nothing, never sleeping? Oh, I do not wish to think of that.
Do you know where in the deep roads this was?
No, that secretive bastard refused to tell me. I would ask and ask, but no. He used to say that one day, if I were compliant and didn't talk back at his wife, he would take me there and I could look around myself. Rotten, lying bastard. If I had his head in my hands now, I would squeeze it like a giant lemon. Squish.
You don't know why you were there?
I think I remember a battle. It was long before, and then there was darkness. Bah, in short, no, I do not remember why I was there. It makes no difference.
Let's move on.
On then.
This is not as defensible as I would like, but it will do. What is your wish, Kadan?
I want to discuss what you mentioned.
Speak, then.
That's enough for now.
Then I suggest we move on. I am hardly surprised. To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Your farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are.
Actually, never mind.
Very well.
Let's go.
As you wish.
Oregon.
If one more servant asks if I would like a change of clothes, I will set the house on fire. What comes, my friend?
I'd like to discuss something personal.
We are hardly alone, so privacy is not an option. It is your question, however. Ask what you will.
So what do I have to do to go on your good side?
You are already on my good side, such as it is. Or do you seek something else? Something more intimate?
I think I'm ready to move forward, yes.
Oh, good to know that. Let me see. I would expect favor to come with a price. Perhaps you would be willing to pay a compliment. Is that too much? Hmm?
You are brilliant and amazing.
I suppose stating the obvious will have to do. Very well, then. You are on my good side. Best watch your step that you don't fall off.
And have a conversation with Alistair. This isn't quite what I had planned. I planned for Alistair and Honora to rule Fereldan together, but I guess this will have to do. And this will be where I'll call it for this one. Thank you for watching, do any relevant things with YouTube's buttons, and have a nice day.